Okay, everybody, it is me, Gregory Mannarino. It is Tuesday still, September 21st, 2021. This is my post-market wrap-up. A bunch of stuff to cover. Some of it is just, well, it's retarded. And we're going to cover it all. The not so retarded and the retarded. Let's start off with this market today. Kind of a roller coaster ride, up and down and up and down, positive and negative. How did we finish? Well, the Nasdaq finished positive, fractional losses for the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq. Let's look over at the debt market real quick. Nothing, okay? The 10-year yield remains extremely stable. Dollar, slight loss today, okay? Whatever. We have crude oil today, slightly higher. We got cryptocurrencies getting hit again, and we're going to talk more about that in a moment. And gold and silver catching a bid. Today, I really feel like the market is in a bit of a holding pattern. Why? Well, tomorrow we're going to hear from public enemy number one. That is the Federal Reserve. Yes, they're going to sum up their 2-day meeting, and tomorrow we get to hear what's going to come out of their vomitous, I love that word, disgusting, rancid mouths. As a matter of fact, we're going to hear from a criminal himself, a man who has been caught insider trading, and I'm talking about the Fed chair himself, who is buying, or at least was buying, the same securities that were being bought by the Federal Reserve itself. Now, I want to talk more about that too. So not only tomorrow are we going to hear from public enemy number one, the largest criminal organization in the history of the world, but a criminal himself. What else would you expect in this environment? Nothing. You can't make this stuff up. The truth is stranger than fiction. All right. Now, so I covered the market. I told you what's going on. I told you what the market is waiting for. Yesterday, that big sell-off, people, that was a message, literally, to the Fed. That's all that was. It had nothing, zero, less than zero, to do with Evergrande. How can I prove that? How can Gregory Mannarino right here and right now prove to you, because I know there's some skeptics out here, there always is, that the sell-off yesterday had nothing to do with Evergrande? How about this? Are you seeing even a blip on the radar screen with regard to a problem in the credit markets, like a credit freeze or something like that? Are you seeing even a blip on the radar screen with regard to the debt market? How about no and no? Nothing. Zero. Zero. It's like a non-event. You understand? But I know there's those skeptics out here. Good for you. Good for you. Anyway, I hope that really set the stage for this. Did bells and whistles just go off in your head? Bing, 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 bong, 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 ba, ba, ba. There's something interesting. Did you just have an epiphany? Because there's no problem here in the credit market, in the debt market, nothing. It's just not there. All right. Now let us move forward here. So we found out today on the economic front. It's just lovely. The U.S. account deficit, the U.S. account deficit, okay, now is at its highest level since the last meltdown, 2007, actually, just before the meltdown. Now, this means that the flow of goods into and out of our lovely country here is obviously not doing very well. Imagine my surprise. Let me think. Someone around here, oh yeah, it was me, has been explaining to you that our economy is contracting extremely rapidly. As a matter of fact, the fastest in history. As a percentage of GDP, our economy is cratering. Our debt to GDP ratio is out of control. So you would expect to see or understand that something like this, like the account deficit now hitting its highest level since 2007, Well, you would understand that, wouldn't you? Of course you would. And this is something else that's interesting. A couple of things. So we're hearing from CEOs of these blue chip companies, and they're explaining. This is a quote. One of them said this. I don't know which one, but this is a CEO from a blue chip. He's saying that inflation is not transitory. As a matter of fact, it is unprecedented and structural. That doesn't sound too good to me. How about you? No, I don't think so either. Now, we've also found out this lovely piece of news on the inflation front. I have this little book here. It's beautiful. Isn't it pretty? Yeah. Anyway, so here we go. Inflation, obviously, we just found out from, you don't want to believe Greg Mannarino or your own eyeballs. Believe these CEOs from, blue chip companies who are saying that it is not transitory, it is unprecedented and structural. Well, it goes on to say inflation is causing home builders to raise prices. Oh, I can't. Really? I'm so surprised. I would have never expected something like that. Now, I don't even know what to talk about next here. Maybe we'll talk about this. So, because tomorrow we're going to hear from, this goes beyond the freak show, beyond dog shit, wrapped in cat shit with bird shit, incrustations around it. It's way beyond that. So tomorrow we're going to hear from the Fed, public enemy number one, criminals, actual criminals here. Now, there are calls now. Well, they're just calls, and probably nothing is going to happen unless, I don't know, more people get together and say something, but it won't happen. Calls to remove these Fed officials, even Fed Chair Yellowstone Powell, who, is buying securities, same ones that the Fed is buying. Imagine my shock. This is clearly insider trading. Now, there are calls to remove these people from office. Do you think that should happen? How about we remove the Federal Reserve and take our country back? Okay? Where is it written that we were supposed to give the power, all of this power, to run the financial system to a private entity? Where is that? Can someone show that to me? Because that's not how our forefathers wanted it. See, I'm getting all upset. Anyway, yeah, so calls to remove Fed officials who, again, got calls to remove them. How about calls to arrest them? If this were you or me, we would already be in handcuffs. You can't make this stuff up, people. You can't do it. No one possibly can. Oh, it's cold. People are calling to remove these people. How about calls to arrest them? Okay, that's what I want to see. Ain't gonna happen. How's that? Now, let me move on here to some other interesting things that are going on. So we understand, it's look here, don't look here, look at Evergrande, don't look at what Fed officials are doing. Oh, forget about it. Now we're hearing calls from our lovely, absolutely caring. They care so much about us. Our representatives are now banding together, some of them, and they're calling on the SEC to crack down on cryptocurrencies. Yes, that's true. You see, what you must understand is these same people don't want you in gold or silver or anything else. They want you in a Federal Reserve note. Do you think we have any representation whatsoever in this country at all? How about no? Zero, okay? Our representatives, they represent the real government, which is the Federal Reserve. And the Federal Reserve does not want competition, okay? You can transact in Bitcoin or Dash or Litecoin or Ethereum or anything else. But no, you're not allowed to do that. You must do so in a Federal Reserve note. So there's calls here again for the SEC. They should ramp up their crypto crackdown because you must be in a Federal Reserve note because they're issued by the real government. Yeah, the Federal Reserve. Can you believe it? People, I dare you to sit down and make this stuff up. Anything I just covered here. Pick one thing I just covered with you. Make something up that sounds like that. You can't do it. Nobody can do it. Nobody can possibly do this. But This is the reality of the situation, people. And like I've been explaining to you, things are going to get worse. Well, they are. Just what I covered here should explain to you that yeah, things are getting much, much worse. They're not going to get better in any way, shape, or form. You must be in a Federal Reserve note. You must transact in only Federal Reserve notes. You can't imagine yourself just possibly transacting outside of their system. Really? Oh, what a concept. Maybe we could take some of their power away. Do you really believe that's going to be allowed to happen? No, it's not going to be allowed to happen in any way, especially when you have no representation whatsoever. You have to understand that it's every man and every woman for himself in this environment. I hope you understand that. Again, I really, really do. To an extreme degree, honestly. Anyway, look, I think I covered a lot of important things with you here today. Very important video. Please share this lovely thing. Let people hear this stuff. I want to hear from you. I really do. I do read the comments. I read pretty much all of the comments every single day. I respond to some here and there. But I want to hear what's on your mind, all right? And I also would like to know what you are doing about it. Are you sharing these videos at least? Are you talking about these in chat rooms? Are you trying to get the message out there? Because we're supposed to be, one people. And I mean this on a global scale. We're letting ourselves be literally raped, okay, by an elite few, okay? How does that work? Is it working out really good for you? Yeah? Let me know how that's working out for you. All right, look, I'm out of here. Please share this. See you in the morning.